guys, it's Tom from everyone's favourite SsangYong dealership, Clarion Cars, here today to give you a lovely walk-round review of this beast behind me. This is a Tivoli XLV. Let's have a look. At first glance, the XLV looks very, very similar, well, at least at the front end anyway, to its hatchback counterpart. But there are a few subtle differences between the two models. But I think with an estate model, where we should start is at the boot. So let's head round there now and have a quick look at what that's like. Right guys, so here we are looking at the business end of this XLV, and as any estate buyer will know, the biggest thing you want to know about is the boot size, and don't worry, we've got you covered with this vehicle. The boot on this car is larger than the next class up, and this is often lauded by SsangYong. It's 720 litres of available space. That means it's got more space than the Qashqai and even the Corando in the next class up. So what's even more incredible is the actual length total over the hatchback is only 240 millimeters longer. So that measurement is from the center of the wheel here to the back bumper. So that means only 24 centimeters of extra body length to get that space. So let's have a quick look in the boot now, just to go and wow you with how much space there is. Now I've taken out the parcel shelf, which you get standard, and I've also dropped the boot floor down, as you can see here. Now this is a variable boot floor on this particular model, and I will show you what it's like in just a second, okay? But I think the most important thing with doing an estate car video is to show you obviously the exact measurements. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get out my tape measure and go and measure up exactly the kind of space that you've got in here to go and give you a really good idea. Let me go and grab that. Right, so here's first measurement. So that's all the way to the back of the seat with the seat down through to the back here. So we are looking at 168, so 1680 millimeters or 168 centimeters or 6'6", 5'6" if you are talking in old money. Let's move on. Right guys, so this is width across the narrowest point. So this is arch to arch. So you can see across like so, and we have got 107, I would say. 107 centimeters, so 1070 and 3'6" roughly. Right guys, now this one was a little tricky to get one-handed, but there you go. So this is total depth to the narrowest point. So if we bring this across, just get a bit of focus there hopefully. So we are talking about 94 centimeters or 3'1½". Right, so this one is now, the seats are in the upright position with the floor lowered, and the space that we get again to the narrowest point is 86 centimeters or 2'10". Right guys, so I've now put the false floor back up to the upright position, and you'll see that this gives you a really very high load, so nearly level. It's not quite, but you've got just a tiny, I would say 2 inch maybe, so 2.5 centimeter kind of drop, and it gives you flat loading into the car. Now I've also put back the parcel shelf, as you can see. Now this has got a recoil cover which comes across, so if you've got any goods that you want to conceal, dead easy, okay? And again, to remove this, really easy. You just kind of pop it in and it's spring loaded, as you can see, and it will come out dead easy. But this is the standard specification that you will get when you receive your Tivoli XLV. So obviously you can change this if you want to. So let's do another couple of measurements now with this configuration. Now, before we leave the boot area, I just want to point out a couple of things. Now, the XLV normally comes with a spare wheel, okay? And it's in a kind of polystyrene kit, which sits below the boot floor here. Now I've taken that out to allow me to go and be able to put the boot floor all the way down. Now if you opt to have that, you won't be able to use the spare wheel as well. You'll have to use an inflation kit, so that's just an important point to note here. But other than that, I'd like to say as well, just from a practicality point of view and personal use, it's a very usable space because it's quite a squared back, which you don't see on a lot of cars these days. And it means that, you know, if you are stacking things high, or you're, you know, wanting to take the boot to maximum capacity, it really is very usable. So, yeah, a very, very practical car. So what else is different about the XLV then? Well, not masses, but starting with the front end here, I don't know if you can see, there is an ever so slightly different front bumper on here, which I personally think looks better than the hatchback models. It's kind of got this carbon effect, lower valance with a different shape fog light, and it's also got a different kind of grille shape to it as well from the hatchback. And moving to the roof, again another big change. This is fitted with roof bars. So as you can see, these guys, if you do want to go and increase the load capacity even further, these are rated up to 100 kilos. So if you did want to go and pop on a roof box or similar, you could go and increase the capacity very, very easily. So what's different in the interior? Well, only a couple of things really, but let's just tell you some of the standard features alongside as well. So pressing the little button here, this gives us our keyless entry and pops out our electric folding mirrors. And inside you're presented with basically the same interior as the Tivoli Ultimate hatch. So we've got our lovely Napa leather seats, which are heated, but there is one difference here. In the rear, you have got heated leather seats. So passengers in the back are really treated very, very nicely. And speaking from experience as a 6-foot gentleman, I can get in here with no problems whatsoever. So if you have got taller rear passengers, not a problem. And one thing as well which is interesting in this car is you've actually got the ability to go and drop the seats from an upright position like so to a slightly further back one. So if you do have very tall passengers, you can make sure that they're really, really comfortable, which is a lovely feature. Stepping into the interior, it's all very, very similar to the Tivoli Ultimate. So obviously you've got your electric windows, you've got your central locking, and your electric mirror controls as well. We have got the piece de resistance, which of course is our media center console. So you're looking at the moment at a touchscreen TomTom sat-nav. So dead easy to use, really, really handy. But this system does have two other tricks up its sleeve as well. It has got both the DAB radio, which as you can see is listed here. So if I go and press the buttons there, you can see really, really responsive touchscreen. But it does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. It really has the top tier unit that has everything. And that of course means you can use your speech. You can go and use Siri or Google Assistant to go and tell it what to do, which is a fantastic setup in my opinion. Obviously you've got your standard dual zone climate control unit, which you've got here, so you can have one side hot, one side cold. And of course you've got the buttons down here for the heated setup for the front. You've also got reversing camera, so of course that pops on as soon as you pop it in reverse. And you've got sensors front and rear. As you can see, it's moaning about being close to the car behind at the moment. So inside the car, I mean, very, very little different, but there are some slightly nicer kind of black piano plastic, which you get on the XLV, and you get that on the wheel as well, which I think from memory they actually used on the hatch as well towards the end of its run. But yeah, a lot of standard spec, you know, as you would expect from the Tivoli Ultimate hatch. And there is no difference in dimensions inside here. So a lot of estates compromise when they make an estate model. They'll either lower the roof down or something like that, but this actually has the exact same dimensions as the Tivoli hatch, which in my opinion is a good thing. There was loads of space inside. So let's have a look under the bonnet. Now, much like the hatch, we've got the same choice of engines as well. So, like fitted to this car, this is available with either the EXGI 160, that's the petrol, 128 horsepower 1.6, which is an absolutely fantastic engine, really quiet, really smooth, lots of power. Or you can opt to have the 115 horsepower diesel, which has a little bit more torque, obviously a little bit more pulling power, and that can tow up to 1500 kilos. The only thing to note, chaps, we only have them in manual left, so you can't get a automatic XLV. Sorry about that. Now again, much like the later Tivoli hatches, the XLV is fitted with the front-facing camera. Now that's really important because it gives you the full suite of electronic aids when you're driving, much like other modern cars now. So things like lane assist, autonomous braking, all of that good stuff is all featured in the XLV as well, and it means that you get maximum passenger safety and the car is as safe as any other vehicle on the road. It is absolutely fantastic. There you go, guys, that is the Tivoli XLV, a fantastic machine. But before I sign off, I'm just going to give you my 2 pence on the way that it drives. Now, I've driven an awful lot of estate cars in my career, and one of the things you normally get with an estate vehicle is you get something called boom. Now, that's caused by the extra air that you have sitting in the tailgate area, and it tends to exacerbate kind of knocks and rattles that you get coming up from the road. But SsangYong's engineers have done a fantastic job with their NVH, so that's your noise, vibration and harshness, in this car. And it drives no differently to the Tivoli hatch, which is no bad thing because the Tivoli hatch drives fantastically well. So dynamically as well on the road, there's no difference to the Tivoli hatch, and that I think is due to that the 240 millimeters being the only extra space there. So unless you're loading it up with 720 litres of compost or something, I don't think you're going to find it's going to drive any differently either. So the cherry on top of this fantastic vehicle is the price. Now at the moment this is 18,645. okay, so it's got the boot from the next size up, 720 litres. It doesn't have any compromises for being an estate, and it's cheap. It is very, very cheap at the moment. And the very, very top of that, you've got the 7 years warranty. So you've got 7 years, 150,000 miles. You literally cannot get a better estate vehicle right now than the XLV. So get them while they're hot. Till the next time, guys. Bye-bye.